Hello, Mark Kerrigan here. We'd like to talk to you now about buying a franchise, because there is the whole process of putting the cash together to make this happen. Now, many considerations. One is the actual franchise fee. Now, the franchise fee could be as small as about $5,000 on the very, very low-end janitorial companies to well over $500,000 depending on whether it's a lodging company or a full-service restaurant. See, some of these names are so important to the success that they charge you a lot. But it's not just the name, it's the whole package. The whole package of training and support and process and model, which we'll talk about a bit later. But right now we're talking about buying a franchise. So what you really need to do is create your financial statement that includes these costs. The franchise fee, which I just mentioned, but also what's called the operating costs in reserve. You need to have a certain amount of operating costs, usually for at least 1 year, if not 2, depending on the franchisor, what they require. And you have to have that in an operating capital account, in a business bank account. On top of that, you need to have a reserve beyond that. So some companies require you to have your personal net worth of $1.5 million or more. Some require far less. In fact, the lowest I've seen requires something like a $10,000 net worth. But that's the kind of company, again, that you have to put a lot of sweat equity in, where you have to do a lot of work to make it happen. So what else are the other costs? Well, there are marketing costs. Those vary by company. Now, a lot of the companies will give you some of that infrastructure. They will give you some models, but you need to do the marketing usually in your local markets. What else? Well, there are other costs. There are legal costs. There's setting up your company. There's ongoing costs, such as, rentals for places, perhaps buying a place to do business, but usually it's some sort of lease. Obviously utilities, operating costs. Now, one of the things that obviously affects most franchise owners is employees, and all the costs of meeting all the obligations that are in place for employees. Now, I'm all in favor of treating employees well. We should always do that. But some franchises require employees to make them work, and that obviously opens up a whole new dimension of cost. Employee direct cost, employee indirect cost. What does it cost to have an employee call in sick? What does it cost for their health care? We know what's happening there. So many, many costs, even on the low-end businesses. And in fact, even if one of the things to be wary of is when you're investing in a lower cost cleaning business, which again I keep referring to because that's really the low end of investment for people just looking to get in. That's a labor-intensive business. It doesn't cost you that much in buckets and mops, but it costs you a lot in labor. Okay? Many considerations. I hope this was a little helpful to you, or very helpful to you, as you're putting together the pieces for your strategy and deciding what's the right franchise, or even if a franchise is right for you at all. Again, we have other alternatives if you click on a link on this message. Thanks for listening.